So just to introduce myself, my name is Amrith. I'm one of the founders of 4Voice. We're a hosted VoIP company based here in South Florida. We've started about 10 years ago, and we're just getting started with our channel engagement, and really excited to be on board with TCG. I'd also like to introduce my sales director, Brian Miller, who's right here. He's going to be your point of contact for all the partners that are in here. Brian's the main reason why we got engaged with TCG. He really saw the value in what you guys provide. And so we're very grateful to have that opportunity to engage with you today. The way I structured this Lunch and Learn is really to try to show how we're different from all the other voice providers out there. I mean, there's a ton of hosted VoIP providers. You guys probably get a lot of offers from them. We think we have a unique service delivery method and a unique product offering that would really improve value for everybody that's in here. And so what I'm going to do really today is talk about how we're different and give you a few case studies of how we've helped our client base really improve their communications platform. All right, so there's three things that we think really set us apart. The first is this commitment to Whiteglove VoIP that we call it. And what that means is that we're trying to get the headache out of voice over IP. Right? Everybody who's been in this industry knows that VoIP is very complex. There's a ton of moving parts that go with it. Right, and you really have to understand not only traditional telephony stuff, PRIs and DIDs and whatnot, but you also have to have really good knowledge of what networking is happening, how the internet's behaving. And so we feel that we provide a complete solution there where the customer's not having to chase vendors, or the partner who's trying to manage the account isn't trying to troubleshoot issues that are coming from 10 different places, right? And that starts with us initially engaging with your clients and with you in designing and implementing that telecom solution. So we leverage our expertise. We'll sit down, analyze their current phone system with you, figure out how to build it, how to implement it, and then we do professional installs. And the main reason for that is, if we know that it gets installed right the first time, then we don't have to guess later on that, hey, is this jack plugged in correctly? What's their network look like? So with that first on-site presence, we do a survey. We do full training for everybody that's there. So the onboarding process is really smooth. Now, a lot of times when we're working with channel partners, you already have a relationship with this client and you're referring us in there. So we understand that impression's got to be really good. If it's not a good impression, it's going to hurt business down the road. Or if it's a new client, you want that first experience to be really good. And we found that, over our 10 years, that's like a key differentiator for us. Being able to go in there with a solution that we already know works and do like a professional setup. The other thing we do is we have dedicated customer-facing contacts when people call in for issues. So you're not having to start from zero, explaining, oh yeah, this is this customer, this is how they're set up. We already have that knowledge built up over time of what's happening with that account. The next thing that sets us apart is our flexibility, and that extends to both our technological side. We own our own platform. It's fully open source. We have our own engineering staff in-house. We all worked for Siemens Telecom back in the day. With like 25 plus years of experience in building carrier systems. So we can design new features really quickly, roll them out, new call flows. A lot of times we'll get customers who come from a legacy system, and let's say they want to be able to still press 9 to dial out, right? Simple requests like that, very easy for us to accommodate. More complex stuff, building features that match an old legacy system, we do that as well. This also extends to the way we work with our partners. So a lot of partners will want us to be the first point of contact, which is fine. We'll take the calls. If there's an issue that's not ours, we're happy to escalate that on our side and not have to bother the end user or the partner with it. We're also happy to work the opposite way, where the partner is the first point of contact, and they just reach out to us when they need us. Either way, we want to make it work for you, not force our model on you. And the last thing we do, which is really the first lesson we learned when we got started in this business, is we have eyes on everything that's out there that's ours. So we watch every one of our clients to see not only if the circuits are up or down, but also the quality of the connection. If we see problems, we will proactively open tickets with MSPs or ISPs, get tech scheduled, do that whole back-end headache so that you as the account manager or the end user isn't having to chase a bunch of different vendors to get their problems fixed. Right? Our goal is to provide service. We rely on this infrastructure, so we're happy to take on the responsibility of managing that. So those are kind of the three big things that we see differentiates our service model from what most other hosted VoIP providers do. The next thing I want to do is go into 4 case studies, just to give you a little bit of more insight into the capabilities of what we have. The first one, and this kind of ties into our value of relationships mattering most, right? And that's basically a focus on a long-term relationship with everybody that we deal with, rather than a short-term focus on just getting the deal done. We started out with this company called Prospera Pain Care. They're a Florida-based pain management clinic. They have multiple locations. When we started with them, they had a problem with their phone systems that each little location was its own little entity, and they couldn't do centralized functions very easily. Like, for example, they wanted an intake team that took new patient calls from any location, and it was a real struggle for them. They also didn't have a way to measure the performance of their teams, or do any of the things that you'd come to expect. So we sat down with them, designed a completely new hosted solution for them, built out centralized scheduling, billing, all kinds of functions, while keeping the offices independent. And we were able to roll that out, work with them on a review and reporting basis. So basically leverage our telecom expertise to help them design their system. And now they've grown over the last 5 years to 10 practices. They're in multiple states, and we're really the vendor of choice for them now whenever they do a new acquisition. And really what we're showing there is we're showing our commitment to go beyond the normal for the customer so that we can keep that relationship going. The next one is a company called 911 Restoration, and this really points to our philosophy of, actions speak louder than words, right? It's very easy to say, yeah, we have great service, we have great customer service, we do all these things, but if you don't actually execute, you really don't have anything. This company is a nationwide restoration company, and their issue is that they have to be up 24/7, 365, because disaster can strike any time. A construction company is doing construction, they break a water main, floods the whole building, they need somebody out there right away. And these are big jobs, $10,000, $20,000 jobs. So the phone call that comes in is really important to them. They can't afford to miss a call. So we work with them to really migrate them to redundant infrastructure, both on our hosting side and inside their call center. We built out automated failover systems, so that as also a backstop, which is an answering service, so really multiple levels of redundancy. And then they have a bunch of franchisees out in the whole country. So when a lead comes in, they have to demonstrate to their franchisee that they processed the lead and they delivered the call. So they have all these reporting requirements that the franchisees need to be able to access to show that what they're getting every week. So we also built out a custom reporting system for them with call recording, so the franchisee can actually listen to the call, make sure his guy picked up the lead properly, things like that. And that's been really successful for them. Recently, there's been a few power and fire issues in California, as you might have heard of, and our whole system performed flawlessly. They never lost a call through that whole thing. Right. The third case study is really about trust, right? Coincidentally, it's to a company called People's Trust Insurance, which is down here in Florida. We started out with them when there were maybe 100 heads, pretty small company, and they really needed someone to take over their phone infrastructure because their in-house IT team couldn't do it. They didn't have the bandwidth for it. So we built out our own solution for them. We run and maintain the whole phone network for them, all the telecom infrastructure. Their IT team handles the IT stuff, and we're kind of like the phone department for the company. And through leveraging our trust, they can rely on us for jobs. We have a ticketing system with them. We've really grown them out to 500 plus users. We have, 12 locations throughout the state. And really they're on an exponential growth path with the phone system that we have. We successfully braved the Irma and Michael hurricane events where we had, probably 300 calls at a time, at any given time just from claims, pretty resiliently. And the last one is more of a focus on what we can do in terms of our solution. So it's a company called Wells Pharmacy. They're a compounding pharmacy, which is where they manufacture the medication. So they're not like a retail pharmacy like CVS, but they actually make medication. And the funny thing about the compounding business is that it's more about different product lines. So you have a product line that's maybe veterinary, you have maybe a product line for certain aspects of different medical practices, and they wanted to silo their business into those product lines. So we had to design a phone system that would really be like 5 phone systems in one. Right, so you have your own little silos of everybody, but they want to see reporting across the board, live real-time dashboards. They actually had an unusual requirement where when a prescription's called in, they wanted to just capture the recording of the prescription and have that be sent over to the pharmacist who's making the compound. So we gave them a feature where they could just do that off the phone, push a button, records it, and then FTPs it securely to their share where the pharmacist could listen to it. So we built that feature for them. They also have integrated fax order processing where faxes come in and we transfer them into their storage system, and it gets automatically processed. So we were able to integrate that for them. And again, they've been able to use our services to really expand their footprint. I think they added 4 new product lines in the last 2 years. So it's been very successful. So that was just to give you an idea of the kind of applications that we excel in. Obviously, we're capable of doing pretty much anything in the hosted space. These are our 3 key product areas. Hosted VoIP, which is pretty standard. We do a one price for all model. So all our features are included, including ACD hunting, call recording, being able to do call center type reporting. So you could run mini ACD call queues, regardless of the type of business you are, like a contact center. We do build customized tracking reporting and add-ons. There's no charge for that. It's really just us trying to make the system more flexible for your clients. We do SIP trunks for people who are trying to migrate from legacy solutions. They're burstable, so if you bought 4 trunks, you're not going to get a busy signal on the 5th call. We just let it burst, and then we monitor the usage and let people know if they need to grow. And we can also do disaster recovery with that if they want to have it fail over to another site or another location. And then we have a comprehensive in-house fax solution. It's all our own infrastructure. So we can do fax machines, we can do e-fax, we can do API-based delivery, pretty flexible on that side. It's really helpful, we find, for the only people who still use fax, which is the medical industry, and some industrial, but mostly medical. So, right. In terms of what we support, like most providers, we support pretty much any VoIP phone out there. We like the Telecoms, that's our preferred new install, but we'll work with legacy stuff that's out there. We do have a soft client, we have a mobile client, we have UC stuff, we can do door entry systems, pretty much anything that needs to migrate, we can help you get there. I don't think we've seen anything we can't do yet. So. And then because we have an open platform, we're able to integrate with different solutions. We have integrations that we've built already to various CRMs. We also do custom integrations. If somebody has an in-house application, we'll help them build out an API and be able to connect with that. But like we say, if it has an API, we can integrate with it. So, okay. And the last thing I want to close is we are offering current promotion through TCG. We have a 1, 2, or 3 time bonus depending on the contract term. So it's 36 months, it's 3 times. And we're also in the President's Club. It's a 200-seat qualifier for that trip to the castle in Ireland. So we're happy to help you get there. Right. That's all I had. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes?
How much is that 1 seat?
It's $25 is typically our starting price, and we're happy to negotiate. Like I said, we're flexible. If you have a deal that has different parameters, we're happy to talk to you about it. Everything, yep, and support, we do it all for that, yep. You can lease or buy the phones or bring your own, so we'll do any of those 3. Yeah. Sir, yes. Yep, reflash existing. We're pretty good. There's things that we don't like to do, but we'll tell you about them if it's not an issue. It's like really old phones, 10 plus years. We'll say, look, we're probably better off rebuilding, but we're happy to do it otherwise. Sir, yes.
You mentioned professional installation. Is that very minimum amount?
No. So on the installs, we do professional install, regardless of what the size is. We like to make sure it's working. Where it's remote or where the partner yourselves want to do it, we're also happy to do that. So we have some partners who want to do the install themselves or control that part. So we'll train you and then you can do it. But yeah, we always want to have somebody go out there and do it.
Is that free?
No, it's not free. We'll quote it out up front. Typically what we do is do a survey first, because a lot of times, especially coming over from a landline type solution, you have to look at wiring, you have to look at a lot of things. So we'll typically do a survey and then give you an idea of this is what it's going to be. Yep, fully compliant. It's like I said, it's all runs on our platform, so we have it locked down, and it is fully compliant. We have a bunch of different medical practices using it today, and we are happy to sign a BAA for that. So, no. So the platform actually, it's not proprietary. It's actually an open platform. It's based on Asterisk, so it's open. So what we have as our benefit is that we have a bunch of engineers who've worked on it. and can really make changes quickly. We customize for people who are three office size, three users, up to 300, 500. So to us, it's not so much that the effort of customization is that we can use it somewhere else, right? So if somebody says, hey, I want this feature, it's like typically that means somebody else wants this feature, right? And so we build it, and then we just use it wherever we need it.
And then you throw that in sort of like SMS, for example.
Correct, yeah. We'll include it as SMS, yep, and we can do, SMS alerts for voicemail. That's been a request that's come up a lot recently. People want to get a text message when they get a voicemail. It's like we built that, and yeah, it's easy. Anybody can have it now. Yep, so we have multiple sites right now. All our infrastructure is replicated across our 2 sites. One's in Florida, one's in Georgia. We're opening up a third one, sort of the Midwest region, Denver and that area. And everything, all the infrastructure is replicated to all 3 so that, any given time, if we lose a piece of hardware, it'll fail over within that data center. If we lose a data center, then it fails over to the other data center. And all of them are live at the same time, so they're all carrying traffic. So we know they're all working. It's not like, okay, it went down, let's try to get that one working. Okay. Well, I thank you very much for your attention. All right, thank you.